Here I go again. This is one of those videos I don't necessarily want to make, but I am in the moment, and I'm committed to being honest because I think so many people's experiences go unheard and so many people suffer in silence. That's my observation, is that so many people suffer in silence. So here's how narcissistic abuse works, or here's the experience of dealing with what we tend to call someone who is narcissistic. They treat you like shit, and then when you express your emotions or you try to set boundaries, they act confused or surprised or overwhelmed by your very natural response to their very toxic behavior. When they do this to you over and over again for many years, the people around you start to just be very confused about, why are you upset? Why are you frustrated? Why can't you let it go? How narcissistic abuse really works is they constantly deny your reality. And when you express your emotions they constantly deny your reality, but other people don't see that. They constantly deny your reality while they portray themselves as these spotless, clean, self-righteous, angelic, wonderful people to everyone around them. And then when you, the one who is being denied, or for lack of a better term, abused by them, when you actually express emotion, when you express frustration, when you try to set boundaries, either with them or with the people around you who are confused by your emotions, you get punished for it. You end up looking crazy. You end up looking like the bad person. What kind of blows my mind is I'm a clinical psychologist trying to express the experience of it in this moment. And even as I'm expressing it, I feel a little confused in how to articulate it in a way that actually makes sense. But I live it and I experience it, and I've experienced it for years. And I think more than a lot of people, or I will just say that I'm one of those people that takes responsibility. I do the work. I do the yoga. I do the jujitsu. I do the meditation. I seek out help. I surrender as much as I possibly can. I try to be as proactive and positive as I possibly can. But for anyone that's ever experienced that, and I know many, many people who have, I would say the essence of most of the abusive relationships that I end up doing therapy with, so most of the clients I work with, have experienced this kind of abuse. Sort of the subtext of any kind of abuse, whether it's physical, sexual, emotional, any type of abuse, is that someone ruptures basic agreements, someone ruptures or ignores basic ethics, someone just denies your reality, or someone, trying to say it as simply as possible, someone behaves badly. Someone behaves in a way that is obviously hurtful and harmful to you or your children. And when you try to express emotion in a normal way, when you try to set boundaries in a normal way, when you try to have a reasonable, normal conversation to their very unreasonable, hurtful, harmful behavior, you are responded to with denial. You are responded to as if your emotions, your concerns, your thoughts, your response, your boundaries is actually the problem, that you are the problem for having a response to bad behavior. And that is what we call gaslighting. That is the manipulation. That is the abuse. The more complex issue that takes place is that people who have this kind of a relationship with a former spouse or with a parent or a family member, they tend to, if you're in a position where you have to deal with this kind of person, which many of my clients have a former spouse, for example, who behaves this way. If you have children with this type of person or these type of people, you're in a position where you can't just set boundaries and move away or walk away. The obvious solution to this kind of relationship is that you cut them out of your life and you walk away. But you can't do that when you have children with that kind of person. You can't do that necessarily when you're in a relationship where you have to communicate with that type of person. And there's no one that's going to rescue you. No court is going to rescue you. There's no policies in place or no support group in place that's going to rescue you. You have to learn how to calmly and collectively navigate that relationship with a smile on your face, because any amount of emotional expression in the context of that psychological torture will be punished. So you will be punished for expressing your emotions in the context of that relationship. In particular, if you're in that type of a relationship for a long period of time, because people around you start saying, why don't you get over it? I don't understand why you're still affected by this. I don't understand why this is an issue. And it's because you are constantly being denied your boundaries, your emotions, very reasonable need for communication is constantly denied, avoided, manipulated somehow, and any attempt you make to be a rational, reasonable, responsible person in the context of that relationship is used against you. And that is something that I experience all the time. And I keep it to myself. And I try to be as proactive as I can possibly be in navigating it. But when you have the experience where you lose your cool for a moment, where you get triggered for a moment, where you just have a normal, reasonable human response to a really toxic situation, then you get punished for it. And that is the fucking torture of narcissistic abuse. And I know so many people who have experienced that. So to those of you that get what I'm saying, I see you. And I'm here for you. And I know you're here for me. And those of you who don't get it, I just invite you to understand that this is the essence of not just a lot of mental health issues in individual relationships. This is the essence of the issues that we experience with insurance companies, the medical industry, where they portray themselves to the public as being these caring, kind, proactive entities that want to do what's best for people. But behind the scenes in their policies and their procedures and their behavior, they are denying, they are delaying, they are avoiding, they are intentionally making it difficult to participate in their system of services and care. And when you get upset, when you get angry, when you get hurt, when you try to express your boundaries, when you try to express your needs or concerns, you are gaslighted. You are punished for getting upset. That is an abusive relationship at its core. So we have abusive relationships in the home. We have abusive relationships in our systems. And it has become an epidemic of systemic proportions. And I'm doing my best to talk about it because we have to talk about it. I think it is the essence of the issues that we experience with government. I think it's the essence of the issues we experience with healthcare and insurance companies. And I think it is the essence of abuse. That's it.